Properties and users. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to set up your LodgingMetrics account, including adding properties, adding users, and correctly setting user permissions. Once your account has been created, the first screen you'll see is Settings. This page can also be found by clicking on the Account drop-down link and selecting Settings. Properties. The Properties section is where you define each of your hotels. If you have more than one property, you'll want to add them now. Later, when you start defining metric groups, you'll have the option to track data at the property level, so it's helpful to define each of your properties at this stage. By default, the company name you provided during sign-up will be displayed as property number 1. If you would like to rename it, click on the company name link, edit the text, and click Save. To add a hotel, click on the Add Property button, enter the hotel name, and click the Add Property button again. Users. The Users section is where you create user accounts for each of the people that should have access to the platform. Ideally, you'll want to have a user account for each person that has access to LodgingMetrics. Each user account can be uniquely configured to limit access, enabling you, as the administrator, to define exactly what each user can or cannot see. If a user does not have access to a particular section, the link to that section will be hidden. By default, the person that created the LodgingMetrics account will be displayed as user number 1. This is the administrator account. To add a user, click on the Add User button, then enter their full name, email address, and password. Tip: the user list is sorted alphabetically. You may want to keep specific types of users together, so consider adding an abbreviation and the property name before the person's name. For example, if you want all general managers to appear together, and you want to quickly identify which property they work at, enter GM, then hotel name, and then the user's full name. The employee checkbox allows you to track data specific to a user account. This can be useful if you want to track performance at the employee level. If this user account is for an employee, check this box. If the user account will be used by multiple people, leave it unchecked. The Private Data setting determines if this user can view data marked as private. By default, the Not Allowed to View Private Data option is selected. The Access checkboxes determine which sections of the dashboard this user can access. For example, if you only want a user to enter data and wish to restrict access to other areas, only the Front Desk checkbox should be selected. We recommend that you leave the Settings checkbox unchecked for most users. The Properties checkboxes determine which properties this user can access. It's important to note that the administrator account has full access to all sections and all properties, so the additional access and properties settings will not be visible. When you're done configuring this user account, click Save. To modify an existing user account, click on the username link to display the user's profile. From there, you can view the account settings, change the password, or delete the user account. Now you should be ready to create custom metric groups, define metrics, and input data, which happens to be the next video in this series.